For shared reading today, we're going to continue to look at some key vocabulary before we actually read the text. So a dugong is the first word, and you will probably would have seen this if you went to the aquarium in the last year or so. It's a medium-sized marine mammal that's also known as a sea cow, found on the coast of the Indian Ocean from eastern Africa to northern Australia. A limestone is a sedimentary rock consisting mainly of calcium that was deposited by the remains of marine animals. Okay, so when the animal dies, a marine animal that is from the water dies, and the calcium that's inside its body, so like the calcium in our bones, that will turn it into a rock. Stromatolites are very interesting. They're actually large formations of rocks that have been formed by the growth of multiple layers of bacteria. Okay, you can see them over here. And if the word equivalent means a person or a thing that is equal to another in value, amount, function, or meaning. So when something is equivalent, something is the same as. Okay, so this is half, this is half, this is half. They're equivalent. Okay, so once again, that's the example. I want you to complete the vocabulary poster. Okay, so pick a word from the list and complete the poster like you have been doing the last few shared reading lessons. For writing, today we're going to actually look at homophones. Okay, so I'm just going to read this here and then tell you your task. Thanks to the sophisticated thinking of the Year 3 students, the minions finally understood how to select the correct homonyms. However, after reading their letter about Alice Springs, Edith, Margot, and Agnes noticed that the minions continually chose the incorrect homophone. The clever girls sent a letter back to Gru and told him that they would not come to the magnificent spiritual Alice Springs until they corrected their homophones. Can you help the minions? Now, a homophone, you can watch this video again. It's actually quite informative. It has the same sound, okay? The same sound, but it is spelt differently, and it has a complete different meaning. So they have the same sound, but they're spelled differently, and they have a different meaning. All right, here are some examples. Now, this is just a talking task. You might just say it to out loud or to somebody. So try and create some sentences using these words. So if you have which, this is one that you often get stuck with. So the WHICH, which is when you're asking a question. WITCH is like the magical, a woman that's thought to have magical powers, and sometimes they actually refer to them with evil magical powers, and that actually has a T in it. So I always think of a witch with a broomstick, and that would be the T in the middle. SOME is when you don't have a specified amount. So can I have some chocolate, please? You didn't say the exact amount. And SUM is when you're putting two numbers together. So it's a calculation. FOR is with the object or purpose of. Okay, so if with the when you want to do something. So for the reason that. FOUR is the number. TO is to indicate direction, and TOO means in addition as well as. So, what I would like you to do is read this particular paragraph and then choose the correct homophone. So, for example, a glorious landscape masterpiece. Now you could see I've color coded them as well. So for example, this is red and this is red. Which will go in there? So you just have to choose the correct which is full of excellent museums, incredible wildlife parks, and amazing indigenous heritage. Something, so you need to now then see there is no place like Alice Springs. So which there, which no. You must come to Alice Springs to visit the world's most unbelievable landmarks, not only for the breathtaking view of Uluru, but also the ruggedly beautiful McDonald's mountain ranges and spectacular gorges. The next one will be there. So you need to go back to the orange. Is absolutely no place like this in the world. On your once in a lifetime adventure, you can gaze under the brilliantly beautiful blazing stars, and although a mystical desert, at Alice Springs, you can swim in the spectacular natural waterholes where you can cool off after a day of exploring and activities. So choose the correct one to place it in, and that is your writing task. Just going to continue on with religion. So pause the video, do the writing task, come back to religion. One of the key words is freedom, which means the power or the right to act, speak, or think for what you want. Choice is to have an option between two things. Okay, we all have choices. Consequence is a result or effect, typically one that is unwelcomed or unpleasant. So the consequence of doing something wrong might be that you get into trouble and something's taken off you. Now, here is a very, very important keyword. Okay, so you have free will. Free will is what God gave us. Okay, so we're not robots. We all have free will. It's the ability to choose between different possible courses of action. Okay, and it's something that God has given us. Okay, it's unimpeded, which means that you are not blocked by doing it. Free will is closely linked to the concept of responsibility, praise, guilt, sin, and other judgments. So basically, just to summarize that, because there are a few big words there, free will just means having the ability to choose, okay, between one and another. And God gave us a lot of options, and He's encouraging us to choose more, obviously, what is good than what is not good. Here is a really good clip that I found that actually helps understand choices a little bit more. After you've listened to that, I want you to complete this. This is the word bank: life, responsibility, free will, right, God, and good. Through the gift of something, we are given the gift of free will, and we are meant to use this gift something. Something allows us to decide what is something and just, and to make something decisions about how to live in relationship with someone and others. Once you've done that, I would like you to write why you think God has given us free will.